change for someone to better.
I didn't realize how important it was for you.
Maybe two. We're out on the road. We'll search out.
I just got a
Because I mean, the cost you guys.
I just forgot.
You don't really pay that much more. Sounds like you can keep it clean. That's nice.
I can't sit there. She get my bald head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just tired. It's gonna be fine. Everything's good. Yeah. I think I've made more decisions today than I've made in a whole year of being principal.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us for the Wednesday, August 13th Board of Education meeting. As we call to order, I would like to remind everyone, if you plan to make a public comment this evening, please complete a comment card and give it to Mrs. Callard at this time. And I would ask that you silence your cell phones and remove your hats as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can we do the roll call, please?
Amy.
Present.
Hanson.
Present.
Montague.
Present.
Murphy.
Present.
Odell.
Present.
Ramberg.
Present.
And Lund.
Present. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
Move.
I'll support that. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. First up this evening, as always, are our reports, and we will start with Mr. Sosowski.
Thank you and welcome everybody this evening. We do have a couple things to report out on. First of all, welcome back. The start of the 25-26 school year is right around the corner. Band camp is underway. Fall sports have started. We have our new teacher orientation scheduled for tomorrow morning, so thank you to Ms. Thomas for getting that kicked off with our LEA. Our staff reports back officially on August 19th, and our students arrive on August 21st. We do have our Linden Community Schools Back to School webpage up and running. Parents and students can use this one-stop spot to find information and resources about all things back to school, open house dates, school calendars, supply lists, handbooks and policies, etc. And we are looking forward to getting students and staff back in our buildings next week. Just a quick update on some of the bond work, some of the high points. Our early childhood center has received the necessary inspections, and we have moved into the new facility on August 8th. Our ECC staff is still organizing the classrooms, and we are scheduled for a ribbon cutting and celebration of our new facility on Monday, August 18th, scheduled for 5 p.m. Hyatt Elementary and Central Elementary are very close to being ready, and we do anticipate that both buildings will be ready to go by August 21st. On August 12th, Hyatt staff moved back into the building, spending time unpacking and preparing their rooms. Today, movers were at Central with the help of staff to get classroom moved in and unpacked. A big shout out to Greg Vades, our maintenance crew, Corrigan movers, and all the Linden Community School staff that showed up to help move staff back into their classrooms. So again, really appreciate all the hands that we had. Board, I would like to officially invite you to our annual Welcome Back and Staff Recognition Breakfast on Wednesday, August 20th. Breakfast will be open at 7:15 a.m. and the program to celebrate the start of the school year, recognize new staff, and honor those staff members earning monumental years of service to Linden Community Schools will begin at 7:45 a.m. And with that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Russ. Any board members with reports this evening?
Just a clarification, where's the back to the school breakfast at?
Linden Middle School.
Okay, same as usual? You might have said that, but I missed it, sorry.
I did not.
Mrs. Odette?
Yeah, I just wanted to share, I finished up my CBA 101, which was the fundamentals of school board, shut down, of school board service, the 102, which was governing through policy, 103, basic school finance, and 104, which was basic school law. So I finished up all of those, they were great information. Definitely highly recommend them to any of the board members. And it definitely made me realize that those upper level courses are something I want to continue to pursue because there's a lot of good information that I had a lot of questions about and wanted to dig deeper on and understand better. So highly recommend that for everybody on the board. The other thing I wanted to share was I was able to go to the Unified Sports fundraiser this past Friday. It was a great time, got to see the kids and do a 5K for them, so that was super exciting.
Awesome, very good, thank you. All right. Oh, sorry, Ms. Hanson.
I just have one quick thing. Last month I was able to go to Argentine for the Summer Eagle Club. They had a spaghetti dinner and talent show. I've been once before. It's always great to see the kids. They serve you dinner, they help make the dinner, it comes from their garden, and they put on a little talent show. It's great.
Awesome. Ms. Murphy?
Thank you, Mr. Luck. I'd just like to preemptively welcome all the students and staff back to the district for the school year. I really hope that we can get off on a good footing this year and really abide by the rules we have in place, like student handbooks, and then also the corresponding discipline violations are worthy of having. I just feel like if we do everything right off the bat, then we'll be in better shape. Because I feel like sometimes we take a soft approach to problems, then it's hard to turn back on. So I think it's a fresh year. I think we need to be just really cognizant of the fact that students need to do what they're supposed to do, and then the staff, if there's a problem, they need to discipline accordingly. And we have chain of command in the district. I encourage parents to go through that chain of command until they're satisfied, and all the way up to including visiting this board if that's necessary. Hopefully any issues they have with a student and a staff member will be resolved with the initial staff member. But if not, they need to understand that they do have rights to go up the chain of command until the point where they've exhausted their chances of getting the situation resolved. I'd rather see that happen than somebody get disenfranchised at the first point and say, I have a problem with my student, the way it's being dealt with, he or she. And so the staff member says, well, this is the way I'm gonna do it, and that's the end of it. No, that's not the end of it. And that can't be the end of it. And I think when that is the end of it, that's when people consider going elsewhere. And with school choice being a real problem for this district and a lot of districts, I think it's important that we just make sure that we're here for the parents as much as the students too. So again, I hope everybody can just get off on the right foot, and I think we'll be better off in the long run. Thank you.
All right, well, about an hour ago, most of the board had the opportunity to visit the new Early Childhood Center over at the Hyatt Linden campus, and that was really exciting. I know everybody, I think, enjoyed the visit, and it was nice to get a little, a little VIP treatment to see inside the walls before everything's completely ready. So we appreciate Mrs. Matt-Bravich and Mr. Vadez and Mr. Stricker and all of the teachers and staff that are over there working day in and day out to make everything, put everything back together. It's a lot, and I know I drove by Central earlier, Mrs. Morford, I know you, I mean, it must have been something. I know, I don't even know, like, I don't even know what to say other than just like from the board, thank you all. Because the whole district is in boxes, I think, just about, other than maybe the high school this time. But anyway, it's been a lot, I know, for you guys, but I think the final finished product will be very nice for our community and our students, which makes it all worth it, like, when you get to look back on it, not at the moment, right? So, anyway, thank you very much. I do plan to attend the welcome back and say a few words on behalf of the board next Wednesday, so if anybody's able to join me, that would be awesome. And also, I will be at the ribbon cutting on Monday and hope that the rest of the board can join for that as well. So, a lot of exciting things, and with the new school year right around the corner here, so very good. All right, we don't have any special presentations or recognitions this evening. We don't have any administrative updates this evening. Do we have any public comments, Mrs. Keller?
We do, Tara Phillips.
We have to turn that up.
This is in regards to the agenda format and public comments that was addressed, and I apologize, I don't remember if it was the last meeting or two meetings prior. But as somebody who's obviously concerned, I'm here taping, so this is my view. And actually, I raised my hand, just kind of being sarcastic after doing like, I wanna, in on this, but anyway, each of us here today brings our own opinions informed by the data we review, our experiences and conversations with those around us. Do I agree with every decision made here? Absolutely not. And I don't expect you to always agree with mine. And that's not really a bad thing. We're different people, okay? 3 minutes often is enough time for someone to fully express their concerns. Allowing additional opportunities for a public to speak on various topics demonstrates that their voices matter. You have the authority to vote, but your role also carries the responsibility to listen to the people you represent, whether you agree with them or not. The city of Linden has expanded its public comment time, and I think it's a great example. I encourage you to watch one of their meetings and consider this approach the next time this issue comes up for discussion. You were elected not just to make decisions, but to listen to parents, students, teachers, administration, and community members. Sometimes a single public comment can open your mind to perspective you just hadn't considered. Whether people choose to use this time or not, it's up to them, but making space for it shows that their voices matter just as much as yours. So I know you guys, I just like this something to be considered the next time the agenda, which would probably be a year from now, comes around, to just think about, opening it up. Like I said, whether they take the time or not, it's irrelevant, but obviously if they're coming here, it's a concern. And I just think, again, I'm just gonna reiterate, it's so important to hear those voices, whether you agree with them or not. All right, thank you.
All right, any other public comments this evening? Okay, we'll move along to the consent agenda then, which consists of minutes from our regular meeting on July 16th, minutes of our closed session meeting also on July 16th, invoices for the month of July 2025, and a personnel summary sheet. I need a motion and support to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, up first this evening, we have a couple of action items, and the first one is the GCCO. Every time this comes up once a year, and I can't, it's G-card, but I don't want to say it that way for some reason. Interagency agreement and memo of understanding. So I know everybody's had a chance to look at this, and obviously to the newer board members, this is first time for you kind of looking through this, but hopefully everybody had a chance to review it in advance and if there's any questions, we can get through those, here in a second. But I do need a motion and support to approve the G-Card interagency agreement as presented.
So moved.
Support?
It's been moved and supported, so are there any questions about this? I figured as much that there wouldn't be. So all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And our second action item this evening is the Linden Community Schools Board of Education resolution for fiscal year 2025-26 school aid budget delays. I have a few comments on this, but I'll save it till after we make a motion, but we all know this is important to get our voice out to the folks that have the decision-making powers of the state. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the Linden Community Schools Board of Education resolution on fiscal year 25-26 school aid budget delays as presented.
So moved. Support?
It's been moved and seconded, so we have some questions, Mr. Haney. Oh, you're ready to just say, yeah, yeah.
Ready to vote.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I guess I probably don't need to make too many comments, because I'm sure we're all on the same page. This is like, not so, but, Mr. Murphy, did you have something?
Yeah, you know, this is one issue certainly that causes school districts consternation as far as trying to figure out a budget, an accurate budget. It would be great if they could get it done by July 1st, but even that would be too late for us because we do our budget before July 1st. So I guess we either need to work out an arrangement where we can pass our budget after July 1st or because they're going to have to do it probably 2 weeks in front of July 1st, like mid-June, to actually be that helpful for us. There's so many other things that affect our budgeting, and it's like how many students is a big one. And we just don't have a very good system right now with the state identifying where the kids are. There should be a way to track, and I know there is ways to track how many kids, what ages are kids, in what households, in what districts, and the state has that information, and that's the kind of information that would be very valuable to us for planning purposes. So, to me, it's like this resolution is, you know what, if I've heard different stories on whether or not this budget has to be done by July 1st. I didn't get to the bottom of what the truth is yet. Because I think it's October 31st when the actual funding runs out for the current year's budget, I think, something like that. Because, so basically, the idea that you allow them to continue to negotiate out a budget down the road is not necessarily a bad thing because they're using the most current information to decide how much they can, give out in form of student funding. So to me, it's like we've got other things. We know approximately that our budget's going to be based on last year's FTE number, and then our biggest problem is deciding the number of kids that we're going to apply to that number to set up our budget. So I think we need to focus more on a resolution that would ask for them to delve into that issue than to just say, hey, we really need you to get this number by July 1st. It doesn't make as much difference to me and to our budgeting process as it would be if we knew exactly a better feel for where the kids were at. Get things like get them to sign up, make it a state mandate that, if you want to send your kid to school, you have to sign them up by a certain date. I think there's a lot of ways that we can encourage the state to help us out, more so than just say, just give us that FTE number by July 1st. So, like I said, I'm okay with this resolution, but I don't think it goes far enough to really help us out. So, we'll just continue to deal with and we do a great job of developing a conservative budget, which allows us to have flexibility. And if it takes us a year to spend that money, we'll spend it next year. If it turns out we got a surplus, we'll just roll it into next year's program. So, I'm not really moved by this thing. it's gonna be very helpful. That's it, thank you.
All right, and just before we do a quick vote on this for anybody who's listening, not that you all don't already know this, but the state of Michigan has not approved their student aid budget yet for this upcoming year. So basically, this resolution is just saying that on behalf of Linden Community Schools, like, hey, this is hurting our kids. So hopefully a lot of districts are passing a similar resolution and putting a little bit of pressure on the deciding members of the state legislature. So with that, there is a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say that I'm in support of this as long as it's clearly made that it's directed to all three branches, the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, because all three are an issue of why the budget hasn't been passed. I don't want it to look like it's at one specific branch. All three need to get their act together and not use the kids' funding for schools for their political, whatever they're doing. So I'm okay with doing that. The one thing I didn't like in here was the very bottom part was saying, can I read it? I'm not allowed to read it. The last paragraph, be it resolved further, the Linden Community Schools Board is affirming that school aid funding should not be tied to any of their budget deals, including ongoing talks about road funding. I feel like that specifically is at two branches, which would be the executive and the House. I also think this money should not be out of the school aid budget, but I do think we have to do something with the roads. We've got high schoolers driving their cars. If you bend a rim, you blow out a tire, especially with the change of seasons. I do think that safety of the roads is one thing. However, they need to figure it out quickly. And then I didn't know if anybody on this board knows, there has been 2 shutdowns before when they didn't pass the budget. And I actually contacted our representatives and said, you know, what is going on? Why wasn't it passed on the first? I don't think there's any violation for them not passing it, but it was law that they passed the budget on the first. So I just wanted to see if for some reason they continue all three branches playing politics, what would happen if there was a government shutdown with our budget? Does anyone know that? Because I know it happened under Granholm twice for the schools.
I can't answer that, I don't recall that, just my position. But again, depending on the time frame of the years, different legislation. You know, I know the July 1st date is law, as far as the appropriation sent to the governor. I agree with you, it shouldn't be bipartisan. I don't believe this, as we talked, the resolution is. I don't think anybody can disagree that roads need to be fixed. But, you know, from a school standpoint, I also think as a collective whole, it shouldn't come off the backs of our students. You know, and certain bills, certain presentations of appropriations up to this point, basically that's what they've done. They've attempted to take money from our students. And again, I'll have to stand up and say, Superintendent, I don't agree with that. You know, that money's been set aside for public education to allow us to educate our students, put our staffs in good situations, and our students in good situations. So.
And then the other thing I was wondering is, I know we're gonna send this. Have we even thought about, as a board, can we invite our 2 reps to maybe even talk to us about this? Maybe invite our 2 House reps that represent Linden School Districts. Could we invite them here to maybe give us an update, since we're gonna be sending this to them? I feel like if it's gonna go one way, maybe we can invite them. They don't have to come if they don't want to, but at least say we're willing to have a 2-way dialogue.
Ms. Hanson?
I just wanted to point out too, like, so our existing budget ends September 30th, so if this budget isn't passed, that puts our free lunch program in jeopardy. So right now, lunches are until September 30th. If we don't get a budget, we don't know what happens with that.
All right, there's a motion in support to approve the Linden Community Schools Board of Education resolution on fiscal year 2025-2026 school aid budget delays as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we do not have any discussion items this evening. We do not have a closed session this evening. So at 6:22, we're adjourned.